You actually kind of have to hope that you don't get rich too early before you've struggled enough, because men are built on the back of struggle. But don't worry, I think God has a plan for you. You should be trying your absolute best to get rich all of the time. And all of those lessons that will come with all the suffering and the difficulty will be amplified by the time you're a multimillionaire and you become the best version of yourself. That's how you become a top G. Guys, money is easy. The life you want is easy. All you have to do is fall in love with the work. And you're going to realize it wasn't actually that difficult. All it took was consistency and doing everything I'm supposed to do properly. If you try your very best in all things, and you pray, and you're really thankful to God, and you say thank you all the time, you start to become very lucky. You guys are truly running out of time. It's very important that you get your act together quickly. Your woman started an argument today. You've been texting back and forth. You don't have time. You have things to do. You need to sit at home and feel this fire inside of you because you do not have all of the money you want, and your name has not been echoed into eternity. It's down to you. I could take you to the start line. I could tell you you can do it, but you have to be the one to run the race. I can't carry you. But when you do, it is worth it. To die for something, to live for something. That's the whole point in all of this. Don't let losers and brokies sit and say to you, oh, all our graves are the same, it doesn't matter. It does matter. You were not born to suffer and die without being remembered or leaving a mark on this planet. The reason the male peacock shows its feathers is to say, look what I have. That's what built the modern world. Don't be confused. You don't want to flex asininities. You want to flex capabilities. This is what they teach inside of common pop psychology classes. Yeah, and take the small success and be happy with it. And no, I don't consider myself successful. All I do is work. I work 7 days a week. And you see a lot of people do it, right? They'll say, oh yeah, I had a really great week and I made some money and now I'm in Costa Rica. You're never going to win that way, which is why all of the people who are truly rich are workaholics, because it's the only way to really get there. A lot of you deserve the failure you endure. In the end, God gives you exactly what you deserve. So if you're not happy with your life, you have to ask yourself, do you really deserve more? You deserve what you have. You deserve your mediocrity. Every single thing I've ever wanted, I have got. Maybe not instantly, maybe not easily, in fact, certainly not both. And I put in enough work to show God and show the universe I deserve them, so he gave them to me. Now you should have enough respect for yourself that you're prepared to always put in the effort to give your best 100% because it is a habit. Every single thing I approach with vigor because I like being good at things. You can become good at learning so that you learn things faster. Good at concentrating. It's not about going to the training, it's about trying hard in the training. It's about giving it your all. Most people go through their entire adult life without trying 100% hardly ever. And it's interesting because we're entering the most competitive period of human history. So it's very important that you're good at everything you do. Don't do it if you're not going to try. It's a bad habit to go, oh, I tried. I didn't give it my all, but at least I went. It's going that matters. That's not true. If you're going to do it right. There's no point in half doing anything. You may as well have not done it at all. You say you need rest, but you're not resting. You're escaping. You wake up tired, not because your body is broken, but because your soul is starving. You drag yourself through the day with a smile you don't feel, an energy you don't have. Not because you've done too much, but because you've done nothing that fulfills you. It's not because you've been grinding too hard, it's because you've been grinding in the wrong direction, chasing tasks that drain you, pleasing people who wouldn't show up to your funeral, following routines that keep your heart numb and your spirit on life support. You're not burnt out from overworking. You're burnt out from underliving. You've confused movement for meaning. You've been running in circles and calling it purpose. You betrayed the voice inside that begged you to rise higher, to chase something more, to escape the noise and build a legacy. But you silenced it. You shut it up with distractions. You drowned it in comfort. You told yourself, later, tomorrow, next year. And every time you postponed your greatness, a part of you died. Not visibly, not dramatically, quietly, like a slow bleed. And now you wake up each morning already defeated, pretending you need rest, when what you really need is resurrection. They told you to slow down, but they never told you what you're supposed to be running toward in the first place. They handed you a script of coping mechanisms and called it self-care. But true self-care is self-confrontation. It's looking in the mirror and admitting that you've been passive in your own life. It's recognizing that comfort is not the cure, clarity is. When your life has no direction, your mind will break down. Nothing to fight for, nothing to chase. A man without a mission becomes his own worst enemy every single time. You're worn out from pretending to be okay with average. You're tired because your heart knows you're capable of more, but your habits are stuck in a prison built by fear, laziness, and fake comfort. You don't need to unplug, you need to reboot. You need to rewire your entire mindset. Because you were never built to coast. You were never made for mediocrity. You are a weapon, and the world has convinced you to live like a tool. There's no honor in suffering silently for a life that makes you feel empty. If your job makes you sick, quit. If your habits make you weak, kill them. If your friends drain your energy, walk away. Because nothing is more expensive than staying loyal to things that destroy your mind. You want to fix your burnout? Stop treating yourself like a victim and start acting like a general. Audit your life like your future depends on it, because it does. Wake up earlier than the sun, fill your mind with power, not poison, sweat until your lungs scream, read until your thoughts sharpen like blades. Take the pain you feel and turn it into strategy. Let the exhaustion fuel the blueprint for your evolution. Don't collapse under pressure, harden under it. Become unbreakable through it. And don't confuse peace with passivity. Peace isn't the absence of work, it's the presence of purpose. The man with a reason doesn't need motivation. He doesn't need breaks. He doesn't need balance. He's lit from within, and the world feels that heat every time he walks into a room. And that's who you're meant to be. That's what's buried beneath the exhaustion, not a broken version of you, a forgotten version, a savage, a creator, a leader, a fire starter. You don't need to slow down. You need to wake up. You don't need more sleep. You need more direction. You don't need a nap. You need a new life. One that matches the power you've hidden inside for too long. You are not here to cope. You are here to conquer. The problem isn't that you're exhausted. It's that you kept quiet for too long. You've silenced your intuition. You've ignored your calling. You've traded meaning for metrics. And that internal war, it's your reminder, a reminder that you are meant for more than just surviving. You are meant to awaken. And you have to do it now. Because every second you spend in silence, every day you delay your alignment, every night you stare at the ceiling wondering what happened to me, is a second stolen by the old life trying to keep you chained. But deep inside you, there's a man waiting. The man who's tired of pretending. The man who doesn't want naps. He wants revenge on mediocrity. And the second you unlock him, the burnout disappears. Because fire doesn't fatigue. It only grows hotter. Time isn't slipping away, it's sprinting, full speed while you hesitate at the starting line, hoping life will slow down for your comfort. It won't, it never has. And the sickest joke of all, most people don't realize it until the countdown has already hit 0. The world doesn't pause for your overthinking. Opportunity doesn't knock forever. It walks past the door and never looks back. And the saddest part? You feel it. Not today, but one day that regret will choke you in your sleep and it won't let go. There's a clock in your chest that doesn't tick in seconds. It ticks in choices. Every decision you postpone is a brick you place in your own prison. Every excuse you defend is another step away from the life that could have been yours. And when that realization slaps you across the face, it won't be gentle. It'll feel like drowning in a sea you poured yourself. Because nothing stings more than the agony of I could have. And the most dangerous emotion on this planet isn't fear, it's regret. People waste their prime pretending they're not ready. They convince themselves they need more knowledge, more preparation, more time. No, you need urgency. You need to feel the weight of what you're risking by standing still. The greatest pain isn't failure. It's realizing you never even stepped into the arena. You sat in the stands, watching others bleed, win, rise, fall, while you kept polishing the excuse that you weren't ready. You were always ready. You just chose safety over sovereignty. And now you carry a heavy heart, not because life was unfair, but because you never demanded more from yourself. Fear isn't the enemy. Fear is the signal. If something scares you, it's probably the exact thing that will evolve you. Comfort is the cage. It's the padded room that whispers sweet lies until your potential suffocates in silence. You think staying comfortable protects you. It doesn't. It rots you from the inside. You lose your edge. You dull your instincts. You forget what it feels like to want something with every ounce of your being. And eventually you become like everyone else, smiling, scrolling, slowly decaying while pretending everything's fine. Your mind knows you were meant for chaos, conquest, momentum. You were not designed to be tamed. You were built for storms. But you've silenced your fire for so long it's turned into smoke. That's why nothing excites you anymore. You've traded the warpath for a waiting room. There are men right now who had nothing last year, And now they're running entire empires because they chose to move while others paused. That's how fast it changes. One decision, one shift, one moment of savage clarity, and suddenly you're no longer watching life, you're dominating it. This is your window, not tomorrow, not after your next breakdown, now, while your heart still beats, while your hands still function, while your mind still burns. Because there will come a day when your body can't catch up with your ambition. And on that day, you'll pray for just one more chance to go all in.
Success is not doing extraordinary things. Success is doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. Key things well. Learn to speak well. Poor people can talk and rich people can talk. Looks like rich people talk better. Learning to speak is called survival. Learning to speak well is called success. So let me give you what I think are fundamental pieces to life. Here's the first one. Philosophy. Philosophy, in very simple terms, is simply what you know. And what you know greatly affects how your life works out. So, what you don't know will hurt you, to correct an old cliche. And to correct another one, ignorance is not bliss. Now, we do something very important with what we know. We weigh it. Everything you get ready to do, you got to decide whether it's a major or a minor, and you don't want to give minor things major time. So we simply use the phrase, weigh before you pay. Sophisticated people learn to weigh everything. Big question in forming your life, where are the values? What should weigh heavy on my mind, and I should give it significant time and significant energy and significant money? It's easy to spend big chunks of your life on insignificant things. It's one of the major pieces of the life puzzle, what you think about. Knowledge. If you really want to help somebody change their life, you have to start changing their mind, change their philosophy. Somebody says, well, just motivation, that'll do. And the answer is no, motivation won't do it. If a guy's an idiot and you motivate him, you got a motivated idiot. Now, it's very easy to make errors in judgment. I'm now teaching people, even after they're out of school, university, college, they should read at least 1 or 2 books a week. What if a guy spent his book money on donuts? We would call him greatly deprived mentally. In 10 years, the guy's bought 2 tons of donuts and only 2 books. And he wonders why his life isn't working well. Reason. After he got out of school, he didn't keep up the flow of ideas that can help to refine your business and help to refine your decisions. The reason why most people wind up average at age 40 instead of rich is simply an error in judgment about what to do with your money. Got to have a good plan, right? If you start making errors early with your money, those errors can make your life mediocre instead of rich. You wind up with pennies instead of fortune. The guy says, oh, if I had a fortune, I'd really take good care of it, but I've only got a paycheck, so I don't know where it goes. We call those great errors in judgment. It's so important to make sure you've got a good plan when the amounts are small. I got a good phrase for you. Life is accumulative. Our errors either accumulate into what we don't get, or our wise decisions accumulate into what we do get. Now, the key is to correct the errors as early as possible. But philosophy is where it all begins, what you know. That's the first piece of the life puzzle. Now, here's number 2. Philosophy determines attitude. Attitude is simply how you feel. Here's one attitude. If this is all they pay, I'm not coming early and I'm not staying late. Here's another attitude. No matter what they pay, I always come early and I always stay late to invest in my own future. Attitude's a matter of choice. Now, to make wise choice, we need educated attitudes. A 3-year-old falls on the floor and kicks his feet and screams. We say, well, that's okay when you're 3, but it isn't okay when you're 30. But how we feel is going to greatly determine how our life works out. Now, it's how you feel about a variety of things. Let me give you that list. Number 1, it's how you feel about the past. Some people are still carrying the burdens of the past. They're affected by some difficulties, some losses, whatever. They're carrying it around like a burden. Number 2, it's how you feel about the future. Now, there's 2 ways to face the future. Here they are. 1, anticipation. Here's the other way, apprehension. Now, most people face the future with apprehension, primarily because they bought somebody else's view. They don't have their own future well designed. If you don't feel good about the future by having goals set, you take what we call uncertain steps. Design the future. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to see? What do you want to have? What do you want to share? Your health goals, your investment goals. And let it all change as time unfolds. Something that you think is very important right now, 2 years from now, you'll say, that was kind of foolish. because you'll grow beyond that. But right now it's important to get as clear a picture as you can of the future, because it's important. How the day goes is greatly determined by your confidence about the future. Now here's the big one. It's how you feel about yourself. Self-esteem, understanding your own value. Boy, if new discovery starts to unfold for you, that you've got the brains, you've got the talent, all you need is instruction, all you need is some coaching, all you need is some advice, some experience. And there isn't anybody here that hasn't got the potential to become wealthy and powerful and sophisticated and influential and live uniquely. That's all within all of your reach. Now, self-esteem primarily comes from engaging in the disciplines that lead to value. We don't lack potential, but to bring value from potential, we need the disciplines. If you keep letting yourself off the hook, then you don't feel good about yourself. Best is the ant philosophy, right? To feel good about yourself, do your best. Gather all you can during the summer. Ants don't settle for half. They go for all. All you possibly can. Do the best you can. It's the greatest lift of self-esteem is doing the best you can. Now, what's next? Number 3, activity. Key phrase, success is a doing. It seems as though God has designed that the major part of the value of our life is left to our own mental genius. You've got to decide what you want to become. Then you simply have to go do it. How hard should you work when you get ready to labor? Well, let me give you an Old Testament phrase to consider. It says, 6 days activity, 1 day rest. Some people said, no, 6-1's old-fashioned. 5-2 is better. I do know this, don't rest too long. And the reason you can't rest too long is because we live in a push-shove world. The objective of life is not to rest. The objective of life is to accomplish. Test the outer limits of your abilities. See what all you can do. That's what life is all about. Now, we need rest, but you must make rest a necessity, not an objective. If you make it an objective, you start falling into what we call the average syndrome. People who live mediocre lives are always looking forward to getting off. Successful people are always looking forward to getting on. They want to get on with the job. They rest only enough to gather strength. Let me give you another Bible philosophy. Whatever your hands currently find to do, do it with all your might. When you work, work. When you play, play. Don't play at work. A man asked me one time, he said, I'm making about $50,000 a year, isn't that enough? He said, my kids aren't starving, and he said, I got my bills paid, and he said, we're doing pretty good, and I'm making about $50,000 a year, isn't that enough? What do you suppose I told him? I said, yes, it's enough if it's the best you can do. I said, if you're capable of making $500,000 a year and you make $50,000 a year, we call you loser. Enough is not the difference between 10,000 and a million. Enough is simply doing the best you can. So activity. Just put a big question mark on activity and say, here's a major piece of life to keep checking. Make sure I'm doing my best. That's all I require, my best. Guess when you really feel good about yourself? When you've done the best you can. Wow, there's nothing like the soaring self-confidence that comes from putting out what we call full effort. In whatever you do, it's called full effort.